Good day, students. Welcome to the Rock Tutor online class. I am Mrs. Fajulube Wemimo. I'll be taking you CRS and we'll be treating some questions, possible questions that you may find in your Waec, NECO, NABTEB. You can do well to subscribe, like, and share. Question 1. The caravan of Ishmaelites that brought Joseph traded in. If you don't know what they trade in, the options, you might pick the wrong auction. Now you can see that when the brothers of Joseph were at Dothan, Judah suggested that they should sell their brothers to the caravan Ishmaelite traders that are coming. Why? Because he said, what would they have to gain if they slay or kill their own brother? So it was Judah that actually suggested that Joseph should be sold to the caravan traders. Please note this, that these caravans of Ishmaelites were coming from Gilead. As they were coming from Gilead, they saw them. And these people traded in balm, gum, and myrrh. Balm, gum, and myrrh, which make the answer to be option A. Question 2. Before Joseph came to Pharaoh after his release from the prison, before Joseph came to Pharaoh after his release from prison, they shaved his head and they put on a nice wear on him so that he can go and meet the king. And what led him to this is because of the dream of Pharaoh that troubled him that he could not interpret. The ship's butler remembered Joseph 2 years after he has interpreted his dream. So therefore, when he was coming from the prison, they shaved and changed his clothes. So therefore, the answer here is option D. Shaved and changed his clothes. Question 3. How long was the famine before Joseph reconciled with his brothers? It was when the famine was 2 years. That was when the brothers of Joseph came to the land of Egypt to purchase food. It was at this time that Joseph recognized his brothers, but they were not able to recognize him. But he himself recognized them. And after he revealed himself to his brothers that he is Joseph, that they sold to the land of Egypt, then that he now told them that the famine is just 2 years. They still have 5 years of droughts, that there will be no harvest. So he said to his brothers that they should go ahead to their land and bring their household, including his father, to the land of Egypt, because we still have 5 more years of famine. So therefore, how long was the famine before Joseph reconciled with his brothers? Is 2 years. 2 years, which make the option B. Question 4. Which of the following was not an excuse Moses gave when he was called to deliver the Israelites? This took place at Mount Horeb, the mountain of God. And when God commissioned him to go back to the land of Egypt, he gave excuses. He said the people might not believe him. He complained that he's not eloquent in speech. He also said, who will he tell the people that actually sent him? In which God gave him response. But out of all this, option C is not part of what Moses said, Moses complained about at Mount Horeb. So therefore, he did not complain. He did not say that he was a murderer, which make the option C. Question 5. Regardless of the Egyptian suffering, Pharaoh refused to let the Israelites go because, regardless of the Egyptian suffering, Pharaoh refused to let them go because he is using the people of Israelites. is using them to build store cities, to do so many things in the land of Egypt. So they were under bondage, they were under affliction. So he is afflicting them. The major reason why he did not allow them to go is because the Israelites gave them cheap labor. The Israelites gave them cheap labor. That was the reason why he did not allow the people of Israelites to go. That was the reason why he refused to let them go, which made the correct option, option A. Question 6 is saying, as soon as the Egyptians caught up with the Israelites at the Red Sea, the pillar of cloud. Now, this happened at Pihahirot, when the people discovered that the host of Egyptians are behind them and the Red Sea was at the front, and they complained, they murmured. But during their movements in the wilderness, God guided them through the pillar of cloud. This pillar of cloud and fire. This pillar of cloud was before them. But because of the host of Egyptians, the pillar of cloud stood behind them. That means it's standing. If we should look at the option now, we'll discover that the pillar of cloud stood between the Israelites and the Egyptians, which makes the correct option, option C. Option C. Question 7. One of the spies Moses sent to the land of Canaan from the tribe of Reuben was so the tribe Moses sent out from the wilderness of Paran to go and check on the Canaan land they are asking which person was sent from the tribe of Reuben. Saphat is not the answer because this was sent from Simeon. Shemuel is the answer. This option C, Ida is not the answer because Ida was chosen from Issachar. And D, Gadiel, was not the answer because it was chosen from the tribe of Zebulun. So therefore, the correct option is option B, Shamuel. Don't forget also that Caleb, that was also chosen, came from the tribe of Judah. And Joshua, the son of Nun, who was formerly called Hosea, came from the tribe of Ephraim. So there is need for you to know the tribes, to know those people that were sent from each tribe. So from the tribe of Reuben, we have Shamuel, which made the correct option to be option B. Question 8. Why does the Lord bring us into this land to fall by the sword? Our wives and our little ones will become a prey. On which occasion was this statement made? So, if we should look at this, when they made this statement was after the spies has been sent out to go and view the land of Canaan. 12 people were sent, but 10 people came with a negative report. Only Joshua and Caleb came with a positive report. And when the people heard the reports of the 10 people that were sent out, they were very, very discouraged. And they questioned Moses that, why did you bring us to this land to fall by the sword? It was at this time that this statement was made. So the option A says Israelites got to the Red Sea. No, what they said here was that they said that, why did Moses bring them from the land of Egypt to die in the wilderness where there were no graves? So therefore, the option is not option A. When Israelites had no water to drink, no, don't forget, they were thirsty at Rephidim, they were thirsty at the wilderness of Zin, but this statement was not altered. So it was only altered when the spies gave an adverse report, just as I have said. So the right option here is option C. Option C, which is spies gave an adverse report. Question 9. Barak, who was asked by Deborah to organize troops to fight the Canaanites, was the son of Abinoam. And Deborah sent for Barak when the Canaanites king threatened them for 20 years. 20 years. And God gave her instructions, and she actually called to Barak so that they can go and carry out what God has instructed to battle with the people of Canaan. So he sent for Barak, the son of Abinoam, which make the correct option to be option D. Question 10. You shall invest in him with some of your authority, that all the congregation of the people of Israel may obey. This instruction was given in connection with, what we are talking about here is in connection to the appointment of Joshua to succeed Moses. So this statement was made when Moses asked God that, Lord, I am old. You have to elect another leader for these people so that they will not be without a sheep, without a shepherd. And God told him to anoint Joshua, to appoint Joshua a man full of the Spirit, and it was to bring him before Eleazar, the priest, the son of Aaron, to be commissioned before the whole people of Israel. So therefore, this statement was made at the appointment of Joshua to succeed Moses. A, which make the right option to be option A. Question 11. Why do you do such things? For I hear of your evil dealings from all the people. No, my son, it is no good report that I hear. The sons being addressed here were the children of, not the children of Joshua, not the children of Samuel, nor Elkanah. They are the children of Eli. D, as you all know, that Eli was the priest of God at Shiloh. His son, Ophni and Phinehas, treated the offerings of the Lord with contempt and lay with the women at the entrance of the gates. These were the sins of the sons of Eli, which the Bible referred to, make it to refer to them as worthless children. Even though Eli was trying to say this to his children, he did not enforce discipline on his children. So it was Eli who uttered this statement. Why do you do such thing? For I hear of your evil dealings from all the people. No, my son, it is no good report that I hear. The sons being addressed here were the children of Eli, which make the correct option D. Question 12. At the time Samuel was ministering to the Lord under Eli. At the time Samuel was ministering to the Lord under Eli, they were asking what was the condition at the time Samuel was ministering to the Lord under Eli. Now, there were many prophets in Israel. The word of God was rare with no frequent vision. The idolatry was common in Israel. Visions were used by God to give direction. The correct option is option B. According to the Bible, the word of God was rare with no frequent vision. And even Eli, as at that time, was old. And there was no frequent vision, according to the Bible. So the correct option here is option B. Question 13. Through the meditation, the book of the law became Joshua's source of A, justice and freedom, B, peace and harmony, C, prosperity and success, D, courage and strength. The correct option is option C. If you should look at the Bible, Joshua chapter 1 verse 8, the Bible says there is telling Joshua that he should study the book of the law. He should meditate therein day and night. In that, he will be able to be prosperous and obtain good success. So therefore, the answer is option C. Option C. Question 14. Israel lost 30,000 soldiers in a battle with the Philistines because Israel lost 30,000 soldiers in a battle with the Philistines because the ark of God was captured, the soldiers disobeyed God, because of the sins of the sons of Eli, of the absence of Eli at the battlefield. The direct consequences of the people that were lost in the battle with the Philistines is as a result of the consequences of the sins of the sons of Eli. It was direct consequences of the sins of the sons of Eli. That was what made the ark of God even to be captured while the Philistines battled with them. So many people lost their lives. Even the two sons of Eli died, Ophni and Phinehas. And the wife of Phinehas, after she heard the reports, she gave birth prematurely and called the name of the son Ichabod, which means the glory of the Lord has departed from the land of Israel. So therefore, the correct option is C. Question 15. The reaction of Samuel's armor-bearer after the death of his master amounted to. The reaction of Saul's armor-bearer after the death of his master amounted to A. Faithlessness, B. Bravery, C. Disappointment, D. Loyalty. The correct option is loyalty. Don't forget where this took place. It took place at Mount Gibeah. That was where Saul was battling with the people of Philistine. The battle was so hot, he has lost his 3 children, Jonathan, Abinadab, and Malchishua. Then he had his armor bearer, and he did not want the people of Philistine to kill him. Why? Because he referred to them as uncircumcised Philistine, so that he will not suffer disgrace in the hand of the Philistine. He told his armor bearer to kill him, but his armor bearer refused, and Saul fell on his sword and died. And when the armor bearer saw that his master has died, he also killed himself. So therefore, this amounts to loyalty. So the correct option here is option D, loyalty. Question 16. When David and Abishai went to the camp of Saul at Ziph, Saul and his men were fast asleep. Saul and his men were fast asleep because they were very tired due to the hard day's work. They wanted David to kill Saul and his men. They were afraid of their enemies, so they slept in a cave. The Lord allowed a deep sleep to fall on them. The Lord allowed a deep sleep to fall on them is the right answer. The Lord allowed a deep sleep to fall on them, but it is not an avenue for David to kill the anointed of God. Even though Abishai, that he took along, did not realize this, because he said that David should give him the permission to kill Saul. But David told Abishai that who shall put forth his hand into the anointed of God and go away guiltless. So therefore, the Lord allowed a deep sleep to fall on them. Option D. Question 17. The child David had with Uriah's wife fell sick and died within. The child David had with Uriah's wife fell sick and died within. The child fell sick and died within 7 days. Within 7 days. And when this child was sick, David fasted. He prayed to God so that God can have mercy on the son. But actually, on the 7th day, the child died. And when the child died, the elders were afraid of telling David because they felt he might harm himself. But actually, when he heard that the child has died, he stood up from where he was. He went ahead, bathed himself, anointed himself, requested for food. And this surprised the people of Israel. This means he actually submitted to the will of God. So this child died, at the 7th day, which make the option A. The right option A. Question 18. After Solomon had the dream at Gibeon, the Lord promised to lengthen his days on the condition that he would. After Solomon went ahead to Gibeon to offer sacrifice, 1,000 burnt offerings to God. God was pleased with it. He slept at Gibeon and he had a dream that God was asking him what he could do. And God made a promise to him that he would lengthen his days on the condition that the correct option is option D. If he could walk in his ways as David, his father, has done, which make the correct option to be option D. Question 19. The king of Tyre, who supported King Solomon with timber from the building of the temple was Hiram. It is not Neco, nor Darius, nor Cyrus. The correct answer is option A, Hiram, the king of Tyre. He told him that the Lord has given him peace during his reign. Therefore, he had the heart of building a temple for the Lord. Since his father had the passion of building it and he could not because his hand was filled with blood. So therefore, he decided to build a house for God. But he made an alliance with Hiram, king of Tyre, to supply him timbers. And he did. And in return to what he has given to him, he supplied Hiram with an oil, which make the correct option 19, option A. Question 20. God decided not to divide the kingdom of Israel during the reign of Solomon because God decided not to divide the kingdom of Israel during the reign of Solomon because A. Solomon built the temple for God. B. Solomon was a very wise king. C. Of God's love for David. D. Of Israel's repentance. The right option here is option C. Because of the love God has towards David, his father. Because of the promises God has made to David and his father. That there will always be one person to rule the land of Israelites in his lineage. Because of David's love for God, God also loved him in return. He is a man after God's heart, despite the sins of Solomon. So therefore, his love for God made him not to decide to destroy the land, to divide the land of Israelites during his reign. So the correct option now is option C. Option C. Hello students. Trust you have been enjoying the class so far. Please hit the subscription button and turn on the notification bell. You can also you can share it and leave a comment. Thank you. Question 21. The kingdom of Israel was divided during the reign of Rehoboam because the kingdom of Israel was divided during the reign of Rehoboam because he A. followed his father's tyranny, B. led Israel to war, C. challenged Jeroboam, D. worship other gods. The correct option here is option A, because he followed his father's tyranny. He followed the footsteps of his father, and that was why the kingdom was divided during the reign of Rehoboam. What were these footsteps? He also planned to oppress the people, just like the foolish decision his father made. His father was known as a wise king, but there are some unwise decisions that he actually made, which was forced labor, over taxation, reducing the people merely to a slave. And when the people of Israelites were tired of this, they gathered together at Shechem, telling Rehoboam to reduce their burden. But actually, he went to the elders, and the elders told him to yield to what the people had told him, and he followed the instruction of the youths. the youth said he should not yield to the people. And at the third day, at Shechem, he told his people that his father beat them with wives, but he is going to beat them with scorpion. And that was what made the kingdom to be divided. The people said, what do we have to do with the lineage of David? What do we have to do with Jesse? And they said, to your tents, O Israel. So it was because of his decision to follow his father's tyranny. That was what made the kingdom to be divided, which made the correct option to be option A. Question 22. Yes, what they are building, if a fox goes up on it, it will break down their stone wall. This remark made by Tobiah was intended to, yes, the statement was made by Tobiah, and this was when Nehemiah and the people were building the Jerusalem wall, and they were faced with opposition from Sanballat, Tobiah, and Geshem the Arab. But it was Sanballat, according to the Bible, that ridiculed the Jews. But Tobiah said this statement to stop and disgrace the Jews, that what they are building, if a fox goes up on it, it will break down their stone wall. So therefore, it was Tobiah that uttered this statement. And why? To stop and disgrace the Jews. So, which make the correct option here to be option B. Question 23. Which of the following people led the rebuilding of the temple in Jerusalem after the Jews returned from exile? This is following the decree of Cyrus, the king of Persia, that the Jews to return back home to build the temple of the Lord. And who were those people that led? Not Shealtiel and Zechariah, not Joshua and Haggai, not Haggai and Zechariah. It was Zerubbabel and Jeshua. Zerubbabel and Jeshua. Zerubbabel and Jeshua. Option D. Zerubbabel and Jeshua. Option D. They were the one that led the people in the rebuilding of the temple. Sheshbazzar was also part of it. If you also see Sheshbazzar, you can also pick Sheshbazzar. So Zerubbabel, Jeshua, and Sheshbazzar. They were the ones that led in the rebuilding of the temple when the Jews returned from the exile. Question 24. The two kings of Persia who passed decrees to bring about the rebuilding of the temple in Jerusalem were A. Cyrus and Belshazzar, B. Darius and Cyrus. The answer is option B, Darius and Cyrus. It was Cyrus, through the inspiration of the Lord, that made the Jewish exile return home to build the temple. So the construction of the temple started during the reign of Cyrus and was completed during the reign of Darius, because the construction of the temple was actually put to a stop when the people of Samaria rose up against the people of Judah while they were building the temple, and they wrote a petition letter to King Artaxerxes saying that the people of Judah were a rebellious set of people, and that was how he checked the archive and found it to be true. Then it said the work of the temple should be put to a stop. But during the reign of Darius, the people of Judah wrote a counter letter to Darius the king and told him that they were building the temple in compliance to the decree made by King Cyrus. So therefore, Darius found it to be true, and it said the construction of the temple should begin. So therefore, it started during the reign of Cyrus and was completed during the reign of Darius, which makes the correct option to be option B. Question 25. The Jews who came from exile to Jerusalem to study the law of the Lord and to teach others was Ezra. The option is option D. You should have known that Ezra is a man that is vast in Mosaic law. When these people were to return back to their home, they were faced with some problems. The problems of the temple, the problem of Jerusalem wall, and the problem of adulteration of Yahweh worship. And when this problem has been solved, then Ezra, a man that is versed in Mosaic law, came to teach the law even to the people so that they can retrace back their footsteps to God. So the correct option is option D. Question 26. According to Luke's gospel, when the devil had ended the temptation of Jesus, the devil departed. Let's look at this question very well. According to the Luke gospel, when the devil had ended the temptation of Jesus, the devil departed. A. And Jesus was baptized in Jordan. B. To work out a better strategy. C. Feeling defeated and embarrassed. D. And angels came to minister to Jesus because he had accomplished his mission. If you are not careful, you will go and pick option D. That is not the correct answer. The correct answer is talking about the devil. When the devil departed, how did he feel? He felt defeated and embarrassed, which make the option C. Option C. If it was talking about Jesus, then we say after the temptation, the angels came to minister to him. But this one here is talking about the devil. So the devil felt defeated and embarrassed, which make the correct option to be option C. Question 27. Jesus stood in a boat belonging to Peter by the lake of Gennesaret. If you should look at this is talking about the call of the first 4 disciples. According to Matthew said Jesus Christ was passing by the Sea of Galilee. But Luke actually said that Jesus Christ was sitting in a boat that belongs to Peter at Lake Gennesaret. What was he doing? He was teaching the people. So therefore, if we should look at the options here, the correct option is option D. He was teaching the crowd in a boat belonging to Peter at Lake Gennesaret. It is after this teaching that he told Peter to launch his net into the sea. And Peter told the Lord that they have toiled all night, but by the instruction of the Lord, he's going to obey him. And he did that, and he was able to catch a lot of fish. So the correct option here is option D. Question 28. The gospel which states that the Spirit immediately drove Jesus into the wilderness after his baptism to be tempted is the Mark's gospel. It is the gospel of Mark that says after the baptism of Jesus, he was immediately drove into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil, and he was with the wild beasts. He said he was with the wild beasts. So Mark gave a little report about the temptation of Jesus Christ, and this was actually what he said. So therefore, it is not Luke's gospel, neither John or Matthew. The correct option is option A, Mark's gospel. Question 29. According to the Mark's gospel, Jesus was baptized by John the Baptist after he came from Nazareth. After he came from Nazareth, that was when he was baptized by John, according to Mark's gospel. According to Mark's gospel, he came from Nazareth. So the correct option here is option C. Question 30. What was Jesus' response to the would-be disciples who wanted to bury his father? What was Jesus Christ's response to the would-be disciples who wanted to bury his father? You should have known that the response of Jesus to him was not forces at all. It was the first would-be disciples that came to Jesus that said, Master, I want to follow you. And Jesus Christ told him that foxes have holes, birds of the air has nests, but the Son of Man has nowhere to lay his head. The second person that actually came gave the excuse that he wants to first go and bury his father. And Jesus Christ's response was, follow me and leave the dead to bury their dead. So, therefore, if we should look at this option, we'll discover that the right option is option D, to follow him and leave the dead to bury their own dead. And don't forget, the third would-be disciples also came to Jesus, telling him that he wants to follow him, but he should allow him to go and say farewell to his household. But God told him, whosoever that has laid his hand on a plow and look back is not fit for the kingdom of God. So therefore, to this question, the right option is option D. Question 31. My soul is very sorrowful, even to death. Remain here and watch with me. Jesus made this statement you need to know where Jesus Christ actually made this statement. Jesus Christ made this statement at the Garden of Gethsemane. And who did he actually brought to the Garden of Gethsemane? They are Peter, James, and John. So, looking at the answer here, we discover that the answer is option A, Peter, James, and John. The correct option is option A. Question 32. According to Jesus, a major condition for discipleship is to be. According to Jesus, a major condition for the discipleship is to A. Be baptized with immersion, overcome all temptation, respect parents and elderly people, renounce all that one has. If we have looked at the way Jesus Christ called his disciples, their prompt response to his call, and looking at the would-be disciples, what Jesus Christ actually said to them, you will discover that the call to discipleship, according to Jesus, indicates renouncing all that one has. That's making the correct option here to be option D. Question 33. Peter wept after he had denied Jesus because he was. Why did Peter wept after denying Jesus? A. Sad, seeing Jesus was going to be killed, going to miss Jesus, recognized as Jesus as disciples. D. Feeling ashamed for the betrayer. After he has betrayed Jesus and remembering what Jesus Christ has said to them during the Last Supper, that he is going to betray him three times before the cock crows twice. And after the cock crows, he remembered what Jesus Christ has actually said. And when he remembered, he felt ashamed because he has betrayed Jesus. So therefore, he wept. He wept and he actually repented. So the right option here is option D. Question 34. Have you come out as a robber with swords and clubs to capture me? This statement was made by Jesus. You should have known this answer. The answer is option A, in the Garden of Gethsemane. In the Garden of Gethsemane. That was when the people, after he has prayed to God to take away the cup from him, and when he came to meet the disciples, meeting them sleeping, he saw the people coming to him with sword and club to come and arrest him, with Judas Iscariot. And he told them that, have you come out with me with swords and clubs? Because they have been seeing him, even right in their temple. They couldn't do anything to him. So he now asked them, have you come out as a robber with swords and clubs to capture me? So he was asking them at the Garden of Gethsemane, which made the correct option to be option A. Question 35. Jesus' enemies accused him of perverting the nation, forbidding the payment of tributes to Caesar, and claiming to be a king before A. Herod, B. the high priest, C. Pilate, D. the Sanhedrin. Actually, this statement was made. It was not written in Mark's gospel, neither Mark, but it was written in Luke's gospel. Christ's trial before Pilate. The people actually said to Pilate that Jesus was perverting the nation, forbidding the payment of tribute to Caesar, and claiming to be the king. So they said this before Pilate in the Gospel of Luke, which make the correct option to be option C. Question 36. What prompted Pilate to send Jesus to Herod for trial? A. Pilate realized that Jesus was innocent. B. Knew Jesus came from Herod's jurisdiction. C. Wanted to avoid being blamed for Jesus' death. D. Saw that Herod was a better judge. It was because he knew that Jesus came from Herod's jurisdiction. He came from his geographical area. So that was the reason why he sent Jesus Christ to be tried by Herod. Mind you, this was only reported by Luke Gospel. So Jesus Christ was tried before Herod. Jesus Christ was tried before Herod, and Pilate sent into him because he came from the jurisdiction of Herod. And Herod has long desired to see Jesus. He wanted him to perform signs. And actually, the Bible said, even though there was misunderstanding between Herod and Pilate, Jesus being tried by Herod made them to become friends again. So the correct option here is option B. Question 37. The women who visited the tomb of Jesus on the first day, according to Luke's Gospel, were, please bear it in mind, Luke's Gospel. So A. Mary Magdalene, Joanna, and Mary the mother of James. B. Joanna, Salome, and Mary the mother of Jesus. C. Salome, Eunice, and Mary Magdalene. D. Mary the mother of James, Salome, and Joanna. The correct option is option A. Mary Magdalene, Joanna, and the mother of James. If it was according to Mark, then we'll have picked option D, which is Mary the mother of James, Salome, and Joanna. If it's according to Matthew, Mary Magdalene, and other Mary. So, but according to Luke Gospel, it is Mary Magdalene, Joanna, and Mary the mother of James, which make the correct option to be option A. 38. What punishment was given to the unmerciful servants by the king in Jesus' teaching on forgiveness? What punishment was given to him? The punishment that was given to the unmerciful servant. We term him unmerciful servant because he has received forgiveness but was unable to forgive his fellow servants because he owed him. So therefore, when the report came back to the master, he imprisoned him. So this makes the correct option here to be option D. So he was imprisoned because he refused to forgive his fellow servant despite the fact that he himself has received forgiveness. Question 39. Judas Iscariot lost his position as a disciple of Jesus because Judas Iscariot lost his position as a disciple of Jesus because he A. was expelled, B. fell sick and died, C. committed suicide, D. denounced the faith. He lost his position as the disciples of Jesus because he actually committed suicide, which makes the option to be option C. Unlike Peter, who actually repented, fell sad, wept, and repented, but he himself committed suicide, which makes his position to be vacant. So the answer, the correct option here is option C. Question 40. When Peter and John were set free by the Sanhedrin, when Peter and John were set free by the Sanhedrin, they were strictly told not to speak about Jesus again. They were told not to say anything, not to propagate the gospel of Christ again. That was after the miracle performed by them at the beautiful gate, which was the healing of the man that was lame, that was carried at the beautiful gate. After this healing, because the disciples were growing, they arose to about 5,000. It displeased them, and they arrested them and put them in custody, and they told them later that they should not speak in the name of the Lord. So the correct option here is option A. Option A. Hello students, trust you have been enjoying the class so far. Please hit the subscription button and turn on the notification bell. You can like, share, and leave a comment. Thank you.